Hello, welcome to the Food and Mood Project. Thank you so much for your willingness and your interest to participate in this project. This video is going to be given to you as a way for you to remind yourself of some of the important details and also to introduce you to myself, who will be conducting the interviews with you. My name is April Winslow and I'm a doctoral student here at the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I want to tell you a little bit about my project, the Food and Mood Project. So before we get into some of the details, let me tell you why we need to look at the influence of brain and food. We know that the brain has a very, very powerful influence in our body. The brain is comprised of 5 lobes. It also is the control center of all behaviors and emotions. This organ uses a large amount of blood, oxygen, and fuel, and we get this fuel from our food. And so part of the reason why I want to do this project is we need to take a better look at how what we're eating could be influencing our brain function. Along with myself, there are 2 other primary investigators, Dr. Shelley Nichols-Richardson and Dr. Florin Dolkos. The 3 of us are going to be coordinating this project, and as well as being able to answer any questions that you have. Now, the requirements for you as a participant in the Food and Mood Project are pretty few. First and foremost, you need to be 18 years or older. There's no restrictions for current health conditions, and most importantly, I want to stress that all your personal information will be kept confidential. So your name, email, phone number, anything that you end up exchanging with me, it will be in a secure locked location and will not be given to anyone without your consent. And most importantly, you can discontinue your participation at any point if you feel that you are uncomfortable with any part of the project. Now, this log is going to be very detailed related to what you eat, where you eat it, how you're feeling when you eat it, and I want you to do 2 weekdays and 1 weekend day of all the foods and beverage you consume. You will return this via email, and most importantly with this piece, there's no judgment or assessments that are going to be made about you. I just want to get as much information as possible. Now, this is what the log is going to look like. So you're going to get a file that you'll open up, and it'll be sent as a PDF file, and anyone with computer access will be able to open this. And this is just an example, and this will be a sample day that'll be sent to you. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to take this part of the form, which is a fillable section to where you can type directly onto the form. And then what you're going to do is you're going to enter the date, you'll select the day that you're recording, and remember I need 2 weekdays and 1 weekend day, and then you'll put your participant ID. So remember, don't forget the ID number. Now, as you go through each day, what I want you to do is I want you to think about how you eat, not as meals or snacks, but just more of a time interval. So the first one that you're going to do is you'll put the first time that you eat in a given day. So for example, here the first time this person ate was at 5:30 in the morning. And where they ate was also noted. I want you to note the location and if you eat with somebody. So do you eat alone, or do you eat with friends or coworkers? These are really important because sometimes our eating patterns can change depending on who we're eating with. Now, the next piece is where you're going to record what you ate. And this is the fun part for me. This is the part where you're going to record details, specifics, brands, types, your favorite types of foods. I want as much detail as possible, and also include any supplements that you take in this section. So if you take, omega-3 fatty acid or a fish oil, this is where you're going to want to put this in here. Now, the quantity is going to be specifically how much of those food items that you put in the previous column that you ate. Now, I do have a form here that's going to help you, and this form here is going to allow you to be able to kind of use common estimates in the house as well as little parts of you as well. So for example, if you have peanut butter on your toast in the morning, you can measure your peanut butter by the size of your thumb. Did I have 1 thumb, 2 thumbs? Or if you ate an apple, was it the size of 2 softballs or 1 baseball? These types of common information can help you be able to be very specific with how much you're eating. Now, the next piece of this is, what did you do to the food? Did you chop it? Did you cook it? Did you boil it, broil it, fry it? And the reason why this is very important is that the nutrients that get into our body that our brain uses, they can change depending on how we cook things. And I want to be able to have a better idea of what you're doing to the food before you eat it. As I noted, this is the food and mood project. So what's very important is that we have a way for you to be able to assess your mood. How are you feeling before, during, and after you eat? So this is how you're going to do it. Is on the log with each time point that you're recording, you will go through and you will select a mood. And there will be an accompanying sheet that will give you information about what these moods mean, how they look. So before the meal, I was calm, and then the intensity of my calmness was a 4. So 1 is that it's the least intense, and 10 is the most intense. Now during, think about, how am I feeling during this meal? So this person was bored, and then they were an intensity of a 6. And then after the meal, they were uneasy, and so we don't know, like, were they uneasy because they realized they were late, or maybe they didn't really like what they ate? The reasons why you're feeling these moods are not as important as you just putting a quantification to that. And if you have any questions about this, I'm more than happy to answer them as the project continues. That you need to keep separate days, and the log that you receive will have 3 days listed. So you don't have to organize any of this, but just remember to separate your days so that I can get a good idea about what you eat in a specific day. Also, it's a good idea to record your eating and your drinking as you go. So you don't want to save it all to the end and record 3 days from memory. And primarily it's because you're going to miss out on a lot of details. You're going to miss out on whether or not you had crunchy peanut butter or whether or not you had smoked Gouda instead of Swiss cheese on your sandwich. And believe it or not, those things do matter. They do matter because our body uses them differently, and also there's different nutrition in everything that we eat. Now, write down everything and be very specific. So the more details, the better. I love details. So if you had a specific brand of chips or you had a specific type of kale, I want to know if you ate dino kale versus regular kale. I want to know if you had a red onion versus a yellow onion. All these details help me be able to make the most of your log. And lastly, just estimate the amount. So don't feel like that you need to be precise and measure your foods. I just want you to be able to actually make an estimation using the sheet and your knowledge about how much you think you're eating. And the last tip for the food log is that don't change how you eat. You don't have to change how you're eating, when you're eating. Just give me the snapshot of you. And if you have any questions about this, you can always email me. Now, the piece is that if you continue on to the next phase, which I sure hope you do, is that you'll need to complete this log at least 72 hours before your scheduled interview. So the scheduled interview is going to be a one-on-one confidential meeting with me. And we're going to address your current health concerns, any history that you have related to your health, and also any nutritional patterns that you want me to know more above and beyond your food log. The locations for this interview will be throughout Champaign County, and so this will be an opportunity for you to pick a location that works best for you, as well as a time that works good for you. And you'll be scheduling these appointments online yourself, so we don't need to worry about coordinating schedules because you get to take ownership and figure out what's going to work best for you and your family. And you will pick based upon the day of the week and the location, and then also what time you want to pick. This will be selected by you. I'll then send you a confirmation email and we'll meet. And most importantly, so that you know I respect your time and your time will be compensated. Now, if you have any questions about how I can help you understand more about this project, I really want you to know that my door is open. You can email me or call or text, whatever you prefer. And I want to thank you so much for your participation in the Food and Mood Project.